lesson in our web development series. The first technology we are going to look at is HTML. So today in this lesson, I'm going to introduce you to HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's a standard language that is used to create web pages, and it describes the structure of a web page. I know you use your phones, you use your laptops a lot. Every website that you've ever visited was basically built with a bit of HTML. Well, there might be, or there are other technologies that supports HTML, but every website that you've ever visited has a bit of HTML in it, as is a language that is used to create web pages. So at the end of this series, I expect you to be able to create your own website, a fully functional website. Now let's look at how HTML code looks like. So this is a snippet of how an HTML code looks like. We have the doc type HTML. You have an HTML head and a body. In HTML, there is something we call a tag. And to the layman, or to explain it in a very simple way, we are going to say a tag is a container. It's a container. So inside the tag, we have so many things that we can do inside a tag. We have so many tags. We are going to treat tag as a separate topic on its own. But at this point, from this snippet, what I want you to know is that in HTML, all elements are put inside a tag, and most of HTML element has an opening and a closing tag. So as we move on in this series, I'm going to talk more about tags and how to use them. Now, this is the basic structure of an HTML document, and I want to pick the items one by one and explain it to you. Now, the first one is the doc type HTML, and it's a declaration that defines that this document is an HTML5 document. The HTML5 means that the HTML5 is the latest version of the HTML programming language. So it's not anything confusing, just the current version, that is the 5. So the doc type HTML defines that this document is an HTML document. So wherever you see a code in a code editor or anywhere and you see this declaration, you have to know that this declaration means that you are working with an HTML5 document. From there, we also have the HTML tag, and is the element. This element is the root element of an HTML page. So in the simplest way, I would say that this is a container that contains everything. Everything. So inside that container, that's the HTML tag, we are going to find two things. Sorry, we're going to find few major things in the HTML container, and that is the head and the body tag. The head and the body tag. So the head tag contains meta information about the HTML page. So whenever you visit a website, you are going to see maybe the website, especially using a laptop, you are going to see that the website, when you look at the website tab, you are going to see a small icon. You can also see some description of the website. All these, when we are writing the codes for this website, all these items are placed inside the head tag. So in the head tag, you are going to find meta information. You are going to find the description, the keywords, the title, the description. Let's say you are using a search engine to search for something online, and you can say maybe how to cook, let's say palava sauce. So I can include palava. So if I have that content in my website, I can include that keyword palava sauce in my head tag as a description. So whenever someone is using a search engine and that person searches for how to cook palava sauce, my website will pop up because I have included that description in my head tag. Then also we have the title. That is the title of the page, and basically, um, is more or less the name of your website. So let's say my website is um, pedantech.com. When you open my website, on the top or on the tab, you are going to see Pedant Tech, or that is my title. That is the title of the file, and it appears on the tab inside your browser. Now we have another important part, that is the body. Note, the title is found inside the head tag. The title is found in, let's go back and see something. Yes. So you see we have the head tag, that is, we have the opening head and closing head, and inside the head tag, I've told you that for now, I want you to assume that a tag is a container that contains items or elements. So inside the head tag, we have the title. We have the title. So the title is inside the head tag. Now let's move on to the body. And the body defines the document's body, and it's a container for all the visible contents such as headings, paragraph, images, hyperlink tables, lists. We have so many of them. So all the visible items that you see on a website is included in the body tag. So everything that you want to, or anything that you want it to appear inside your website, you have to make sure that all those items or elements are inside the body tag, because that is where all the visible contents are placed. Then also from their snippet, we saw something like H1, H1, and we have the P element, which we are going to talk about later in this series. Now, one important thing is a code editor. A code editor. And a code editor or a text editor is a program that is designed for specifically writing and editing of codes on computer. So before you can be able to write a code for any programming language, you will need a code editor. And we have so many code editors. We have VS Code, Sublime Text, TestMate, so many of them. So you need to install a code editor before you can be able to write codes on your computer. I'll leave a description to a video on how to install a code editor. In this series, we are going to use VS Code for writing and editing of codes. So now I want to install this code editor and give you an overview of how the code editor looks like. Now I've installed VS Code on my laptop. So let's go ahead and open VS. That is one of the code editors, a very powerful code editor. So this is the window or the interface of the VS Code editor. So now let's start by creating a new HTML file. So you head on to new file. Then you'll be asked to type a name for the file. Note, all HTML documents ends with an extension HTML. So let me type something like test dot. That is the dot, the extension, the extension for HTML document H. So whenever you are saving your HTML files, remember to add the extension .html. So now we are done. Let's hit enter. Then we are going to choose where to save this. Let's choose desktop and create file. Yes, so we have a blank HTML document. So now, because we are using VS Code, VS Code is a very powerful code editor, and it comes with a lot of shortcuts. So now I'm going to show you one shortcut to create a HTML snippets that we saw in our previous video. So I'm going to type HTML, and you are going to see some suggestions popping up. So you come down to the HTML column 5 and you hit enter, and it's going to generate an HTML template. It's a basic HTML template. So that is what we have. As we saw in the video, we have the doc type, we have the HTML, the head, and the body tag aspect. So in our next video, we are going to go into details and start working on our first web page. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, like, and share. Follow for more. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.